We have Fiona Boyes with us today. Hi, Fiona.
Hello, how are you going, Rusty?
I'm going very well, but I'm going to throw your brain into overdrive here. We asked you about doing a take five. So, what is your take
hmm
five? What's it all about? And who or what are they?
Okay, well, as soon as I thought top five, and I'm also thinking about how exciting it is to get back to live music and to festivals. Festivals, and I started thinking, what, over all the places that I've played, and in recent years I've had a chance, well, now I'm counting. I think I've played in 20 different countries all over the world, all different places. And I was thinking, what were the sort of five festivals that I've played that have kind of been either really important or really fun? And I went straight to the top of the list here, and I'm going to say number one would be Bluesfest. Certainly here in Australia, it's our biggest internationally recognised festival with the kind of profile and the influence to get usually a really strong and in the past international um, lineup, very diverse lineup, and I guess I haven't played Bluesfest for many years, so I'm really looking forward to it coming up shortly. But my experience with the festival goes back right to the beginnings to 1993 was the first time I played, and then 2004 we brought out legendary guitarist Hubert Sumlin from Howling Wolf's band to play with me and the Fortune Tellers. So I'm going to kick off Australia first with Byron Bay as an important festival in my life. Number two, I went straight then to, well, we're talking now not only something that's culturally wonderful and fun, but France. Cognac Blues Festival, the Cognac Blues Passions, which I played a few years ago with my European rhythm section. I have a wonderful Italian drummer. I'm often, when I've been touring in Europe, been based in the north of Italy, which is just wonderful. And we played at Cognac, and it's a beautiful festival. It's in the Cognac Public Gardens, so it's marquees in this beautiful gardens. The town of Cognac is gorgeous and has got cobblestone streets, and it was just so delightful for me, and I'd never visited the area before. But get this, one of the things about the town of Cognac is that they're extremely proud of their heritage and their history, and of course their most famous product, which is Cognac brandy. So one of the things they do at the festival is that every musician that plays there will be assigned a hospitality tent, and you go there after your gig and maybe to the Martel tent or to the Hennessy tent, and someone from the family or representative from the company will present you with a fine bottle of cognac as an additional thank you for playing at the Blues Festival. So I've got to say I loved that, and I hadn't really drunk cognac before, but I discovered that I adored it and have now developed a palate that is well beyond my budget.
Cool.
um,
Number three.
with number three, we're whisking off now to Norttod Blues Festival in Norway, one of the biggest in Europe, and certainly the biggest in Scandinavia. And I played there with a couple of Norwegian musicians that I met by crashing their recording session in Mississippi. But I think Norttod is a wonderful festival, but it also speaks to the resilience of the blues and how important it is as far as building community. That festival was started by 13 blues fans that went and got a bank loan and started the festival, I think, in the late 80s or early 90s. and it really revitalised their town. Norttod was an industrial town that was a little bit down on its luck. Now it's internationally known and attracts a huge crowd, and it's a wonderful festival. For number 4, well, I've only ever got a chance to play there once, but early on in the piece, I got to play Chicago Blues Festival. And again, that is just such an iconic festival in terms of the American scene and a direct link to the history of the blues, and Chicago, of course, being such an important place for it. And I remember being on stage and looking out, and there's that skyline, which is like out of Batman, you know, there's all the skyscrapers. It was an incredible experience. I was just playing a solo acoustic show, and it was funny because someone had given me a very large banner which said, you know, genuine Australian blues or something. And my husband had actually cable tied it to the front of the crowd barrier before my set, so people would know that I was, you know, a bit exotic and from Australia. Anyway, he went to try and get the banner down after my set, and he couldn't get any. So he went up to, he was looking around the crowd. He saw this likely guy who looked like a bit of a biker, and he went over and said to the guy, "Look, I just need to get these cable ties undone." He said, "You wouldn't have a knife, would you?" And the guy looked at him and said, "No, but I got a gun," and pulled it out. So, yeah, that's a little bit of a, you know, you never know what might happen. So that brings me to my final one, which I'm going to stay in America, and I'm going to go all the way from uptown to very down home. And this is a festival that's very close to my heart. It's the Juke Joint Festival in Clarksdale, Mississippi. And it's at the heart, it's right on the historic crossroads in Mississippi, and the home of places like Red's Juke Joint, which I've played. Every little joint in the area opens up. They have stages in the street, and it's very much focused on Mississippi music and local musicians, some incredible old regional players I've seen there. And it's also part country fair, so you'll also be able to get good barbecue. They'll have racing pigs. You know, it's an event that will give you a full, rounded taste of Delta living.
Wow. Well, Fiona, we've almost had a travel log during your Take 5. It's just been a wonderful trip around the blues world. So thank you very much for that. And again, thank you for your time. It's been wonderful for you to take time to do this for us. And we'll see you in a few weeks at Bluesfest.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me, Rusty.